Most men never become rich not because they lack discipline, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they hesitate to grant themselves permission to live differently. They delay freedom, they delay ease, they delay dignity. They tell themselves life will begin later, after the money arrives, after the breakthrough, after the number in the account finally gives them approval. They live as if wealth is a destination, not a posture, and in that waiting, they quietly guarantee their own exclusion. Power does not wait for permission. It moves first. Those who hesitate are not cautious. They are already defeated. Look closely at how the average man lives. Everything about him whispers scarcity. His posture bends inward. His standards are negotiable. His decisions are filtered through fear of spending, fear of being judged, fear of stepping out of line. He tells himself, humility is virtue, restraint is wisdom, modesty is safety. But what he calls discipline is often submission disguised as morality. He believes money must arrive before identity can change. That belief alone keeps him invisible. The world does not reward need. It does not respond to effort. It responds to signals, to posture, to assumption. To those who behave as if their place is already secured, money follows confidence long before it follows competence. Opportunity moves toward those who appear ready to command it. This is uncomfortable to accept, which is why most men reject it. They want fairness to matter. They want patience to be noticed. They want obedience to be rewarded. But wealth is not moral. It is responsive. There is a quiet rule at work that few ever articulate. You are treated the way you treat yourself, scaled by the courage of your behavior. When you live cheaply in spirit, the world mirrors that cheapness back to you. When you shrink your desires, the system shrinks your access. When you wait to upgrade your standards until after success, you signal that you do not expect success to arrive, and the system listens. The wealthy do something that looks reckless from the outside, but is surgical on the inside. They move as if they belong, before belonging is confirmed. They adopt standards before income. They shape their environment before the results justify it. This is not delusion, it is positioning. They understand something the poor never internalize. Identity precedes evidence. Behavior precedes validation. If you wait for proof, you will wait forever. Consider how permission operates. The poor wait to be allowed, allowed to charge more, allowed to ask for access, allowed to enter rooms, allowed to raise their standards. The wealthy assume permission is implied. They do not ask if they can sit at the table, they sit. They do not ask if they are ready, they act ready. And the world rearranges itself around that assumption because most people are too insecure to challenge it. Living like a millionaire before you are rich does not mean reckless spending. It means ruthless alignment. It means your choices are no longer governed by short-term comfort, but by long-term positioning. The poor save money to feel safe. The wealthy deploy money to feel powerful. Safety keeps you stationary. Power creates movement, and movement is where money multiplies. Notice how visibility works. Those who live below their means often disappear below relevance. They think invisibility is humility. In truth, it is erasure. The system does not seek out hidden talent. It amplifies visible authority. If you dress like you expect less, negotiate like you expect rejection, and choose environments that reflect limitation, you broadcast exactly where you belong, and you will be placed there again and again. The predator understands this instinctively. He knows that appearing expensive forces reality to rise to meet him. When you demand more from your surroundings, your standards filter your opportunities. Cheap environments produce cheap outcomes. Elevated environments pressure you to evolve. That pressure is not comfortable, but it is catalytic. Most men avoid it because it exposes their inadequacy. The few who embrace it are reshaped by it. There is a reason the herd worships frugality while envying power. Frugality feels virtuous, power feels dangerous, but virtue without leverage changes nothing. The world is run by those who look capable of command, and command is communicated long before money arrives, through posture, through speech, through decisiveness, through the refusal to live small while waiting for permission. Machiavelli understood that appearance is not deception, it is strategy. People respond to what they see, not what you intend. If you wait to look powerful until you feel powerful, you have reversed the sequence. Power comes from acting as if you cannot be ignored. This is why the poor call confidence arrogance, and the wealthy call it necessity. One waits to be chosen, the other chooses himself. Look at how decisions are made. The poor ask what they can afford. The wealthy ask what will reposition them. One thinks in cost, the other thinks in leverage. When you live like a future version of yourself, your present self is forced to catch up. When you live like your past, your future collapses inward. Most men cling to old standards because they are familiar, not because they are effective. This is where discomfort becomes a dividing line. Upgrading your identity before income creates friction. It exposes gaps. It demands competence. It removes excuses. Many men avoid this because they would rather feel humble than feel inadequate. But inadequacy is temporary. Invisibility is permanent. The wealthy accept short-term discomfort in exchange for long-term dominance. Look, I probably shouldn't say this in the middle of the video, but this is the part nobody is supposed to figure out. You're not losing because you're weak. You're losing because you're playing inside a trap the elite designed for you. Once you see how the system actually works, you don't just escape it, you become dangerous to it. I broke down the exact mental frameworks the elite use to stay 3 steps ahead of everyone else. Inside the forbidden wealth blueprint, if you want the advantage the masses will never access, or you can stay one of them. The link is in the pinned comment. The poor accept long-term stagnation in exchange for short-term comfort. Money does not reward patience. It rewards assumption. It moves toward those who already behave as if they are inevitable. This is why pretending humility while secretly craving power never works. Your actions betray you. The system reads behavior, not intention, and it allocates accordingly. Living like a millionaire is not about consumption. It is about expectation. You expect efficiency. You expect respect. You expect access. You expect your time to matter. When you live by those expectations, you eliminate environments that cannot sustain them, and in doing so, you force yourself upward. This is why the transformation feels violent. It kills your old identity before the new one is fully formed. Most men never cross this threshold. They wait for money to justify change. They wait for certainty. They wait for safety. And in that waiting, life passes them by. Power does not arrive to those who prepare forever. It aligns with those who move first and let reality adjust after. If you want wealth, you must stop living like someone who hopes. You must live like someone who expects. The difference is not money. It is posture. And posture, once assumed, begins to bend the world quietly, relentlessly, in your favor. Expectation is not optimism. It is not belief. It is assumption hardened into behavior. When you expect something, you move differently. You speak differently. You tolerate less. And tolerance is where most men lose the game without realizing it. They tolerate delays. They tolerate disrespect. They tolerate inefficiency. They tolerate environments that drain them. And then they wonder why nothing accelerates. Wealth avoids those who tolerate weakness, even their own. The poor man thinks living like a millionaire means excess. He imagines waste, arrogance, indulgence. He misses the point entirely. The millionaire posture is not loud. It is precise. It is controlled. It is selective. It is the refusal to cheapen yourself through small thinking. The wealthy man does not spend to impress. He spends to align. He chooses surroundings that demand more from him because growth is enforced by environment, not intention. This is why living below your means becomes a trap when misunderstood. It sounds wise. It feels responsible. But taken too far, it becomes a vow of stagnation. When you deliberately choose environments that require less of you, you decay quietly. Your standards erode. Your edge dulls. And soon, even when opportunity appears, you are no longer shaped to hold it. The wealthy understand that pressure creates capacity. The poor avoid pressure and then complain about their limits. Notice how permission subtly governs behavior. Men wait for validation before upgrading their identity. They wait until income justifies confidence, until success justifies authority, until results justify ambition. But permission never comes from outside. It is taken. And the moment you take it, you expose yourself to risk. Risk of embarrassment, risk of failure, risk of being seen before you are ready. Most men would rather stay unseen than risk being judged, and so they remain poor. The predator accepts exposure early. He understands that being seen before perfection is a tax paid for future dominance. He would rather stumble forward than hide forever. This is why he appears bold, while others appear patient. Patience without direction is paralysis. Movement without permission is power. Machiavelli understood that fortune favors those who behave as if they are already chosen, not because fortune is fair, but because humans submit to certainty. When you live like a millionaire before you are rich, you collapse the distance between who you are and who you intend to become. This creates friction. Friction forces adaptation. Adaptation builds competence. Competence attracts opportunity. This sequence is inverted by the poor. They wait for opportunity to build competence. They wait for competence to justify confidence. They wait for confidence to change behavior. By the time they are ready, the moment has passed. Look at how decisions feel when identity shifts first. You stop asking if something is allowed and start asking if it aligns. Alignment replaces permission. You no longer seek approval from people who cannot elevate you. You no longer shrink your ambition to protect fragile egos. This makes others uncomfortable. They will call you reckless, pretentious, delusional. What they are really sensing is your refusal to remain small for their comfort. The herd polices identity aggressively. It punishes deviation. When you upgrade your standards before your income, you violate an unspoken rule. You are supposed to stay in your place until numbers change, until evidence arrives, until the group agrees. The predator ignores this. He understands that evidence follows action, not the other way around. And because most people are terrified of social friction, those who endure it gain an enormous advantage. Money follows positioning because positioning shapes perception. Perception shapes access. Access shapes leverage. Leverage multiplies income. This chain is invisible to those who believe effort alone matters. They grind harder in shrinking environments and wonder why nothing expands. The wealthy grind selectively in expanding environments and watch compounding take over. One is exhausted, the other is inevitable. This is why becoming expensive precedes being paid well. When you treat your time as valuable before the market agrees, you filter clients, partners, and opportunities. Cheap people disappear, serious ones approach. When you treat your presence as significant, rooms adjust, conversations shift, expectations rise. This is not arrogance, it is calibration. The market cannot value what you undervalue yourself. Most men misinterpret humility as shrinking. True humility is accuracy, knowing your potential and refusing to live beneath it. False humility is fear dressed as virtue. It keeps you safe, liked, and poor. The wealthy discard false humility early. They understand that respect is rarely given to those who hide. It is granted to those who assume responsibility for their own elevation. The shift begins internally but expresses itself externally. You choose quality over convenience. You invest in capability rather than distraction. You place yourself where you must perform, not where you can coast. This feels dangerous because it removes excuses. When your environment is demanding, failure becomes visible, and visibility terrifies the weak. The strong accept it because growth is accelerated under pressure. Living like a millionaire is living with intentionality. Your choices are no longer reactive, they are directional. You stop asking how to survive the month and start asking how to reposition the year. Short-term sacrifice becomes acceptable when long-term dominance is the objective. This is why the wealthy seem calm under pressure. They are not scrambling for validation. They are executing a trajectory. The poor chase certainty. The wealthy create momentum. Certainty is static. Momentum is dynamic. One feels safe, the other feels alive. Money aligns with motion because motion signals confidence. Confidence signals leadership. Leadership attracts resources. This is not philosophy, it is observation. The world has always followed those who move first and justify later. There is a moment in every man's life where he must decide whether to wait or to assume. Waiting feels responsible. Assuming feels dangerous. But danger is the currency of power. Those who avoid it never touch leverage. Those who embrace it learn to control it. This is where the identity transformation becomes irreversible. Once you act from expectation instead of hope, you cannot return to waiting. Waiting becomes intolerable. Most men never reach this point. They oscillate between desire and fear, ambition and restraint. They talk about future versions of themselves, as if those versions will arrive uninvited. They will not. The future is claimed by those who behave as if it is already theirs. This is why wealth concentrates. Not because others are incapable, but because others are hesitant. To live like a millionaire before you are rich is to step into discomfort deliberately, to accept temporary instability in exchange for permanent leverage, to understand that money is not the initiator of change, but the responder to it. When you move first, reality adjusts. When you wait, reality ignores you. The next step is where most fail, because once you adopt the posture, the world tests you. It withholds results, it delays confirmation, it pressures you to revert. This is the final filter. Those who retreat reveal that their identity was performative. Those who persist become something else entirely, something dangerous, something difficult to stop. The test is always silent. There is no announcement, no signal that you are being evaluated. Results do not arrive immediately. Instead, doubt creeps in. Old habits whisper. People around you begin to question your shift. They ask why you are changing before anything has changed. They remind you of who you used to be. This is not concern, it is gravity, and gravity always pulls downward. Most men fold here. They retreat back into familiar patterns because the gap between identity and evidence feels unbearable. They decide it was safer to wait, to be realistic, to return to small choices until something external gives them permission again. This is where potential dies quietly, not in failure, but in retreat. The predator understands this moment. He knows that delay is the system's way of testing conviction. When you live like a millionaire before wealth arrives, you are making a declaration, not to others, but to reality itself. You are saying that your standards are not conditional, that your expectations do not fluctuate with circumstances, that you will not downgrade your identity just because confirmation is slow. This is rare, and rarity attracts attention. Attention attracts opportunity. Opportunity compounds. The wealthy do not confuse discomfort with danger. They know the difference. Discomfort means growth. Danger means misalignment. Most men avoid both because they cannot distinguish between them. They interpret any internal resistance as a sign to stop. In truth, resistance often signals that an old identity is being dismantled. That dismantling feels like loss. The herd cannot tolerate loss. The predator expects it. Observe how money responds to those who persist through the gap. Doors open subtly, conversations change, access increases. Not because the person has proven anything, but because they no longer negotiate with themselves. Indecision repels power. Decisiveness, even imperfect, attracts it. The market does not reward accuracy. It rewards commitment. This is why acting rich is misunderstood. It is not about pretending to have what you do not. It is about refusing to behave as if you deserve less. The poor see this as arrogance because they measure worth by current status. The wealthy measure worth by trajectory. They understand that trajectory is shaped by present decisions, not future outcomes. Trajectory is invisible to those who live reactively. They focus on what is, not what is being built. When you align your life with the future you intend, you force your present to stretch. That stretch is uncomfortable. It exposes weakness. It demands competence. But it also accelerates learning at a rate the comfortable never experience. This is why the predator positions before he conquers. He secures high ground before the battle begins. He does not wait to feel strong before acting strong. He acts strong until strength becomes unavoidable. This principle governs wealth just as it governs war. Those who wait for certainty are always late. Those who move early shape the terrain. The herd mistakes frugality for strategy. They believe holding back preserves options. In reality, holding back limits them. The wealthy understand that selective aggression creates options. By investing in identity, environment, and standards early, they force growth to occur. Growth follows demand. Demand is created by expectation. Expectation is expressed through action. Look at how scarcity thinking manifests. Men tell themselves they will upgrade later. Later when income rises, later when risk is lower, later when others approve, later never arrives. Because later is a story told to justify inaction. The predator does not live in later, he lives in now. Now is where leverage is built. Living like a millionaire also means tolerating loneliness. When your standards rise, your circle shrinks. When your behavior changes, relationships recalibrate. Some fall away, others become strained. This is not punishment, it is filtration. Most men cling to familiar connections, even when those connections anchor them to old identities. The wealthy accept solitude as the cost of transformation. This solitude sharpens perception. Without constant validation, you learn to trust your own judgment. You become less reactive, more deliberate. You stop broadcasting uncertainty. And when uncertainty disappears, influence begins. Influence is a form of currency. It precedes money. It attracts it. This is why leaders are followed before they are rewarded. The system is not designed to uplift those who wait quietly. It amplifies those who project inevitability. Projection is not deception. It is alignment between intention and behavior. When your actions suggest you are already operating at a higher level, reality adjusts to avoid dissonance. People accommodate what appears fixed. They challenge what appears unsure. This is the hidden reason why the poor remain poor. Not because they lack ability, but because they continually signal doubt. Doubt in their posture, doubt in their speech, doubt in their choices. The wealthy eliminate doubt first. Results follow later. This sequence is uncomfortable, which is why it works. Once you cross this threshold, returning becomes impossible. You can no longer unsee how hesitation keeps others trapped. You recognize the pattern in conversations, in decisions, in lifestyles. You see men waiting for a sign that will never come. You see them postpone dignity until it feels safe, and you know exactly where that road leads. Living like a millionaire before you are rich is not a phase. It is an initiation. It marks the moment you stop negotiating with your future, when you stop asking whether you are allowed, when you decide that your standards are not up for debate. From that point forward, money is no longer the objective. It becomes a consequence. The final realization is quiet and unsettling. Wealth was never about accumulation. It was about alignment. Those who align early dominate later. Those who wait for evidence remain followers forever. Once you understand this, you no longer seek permission. You move. And in moving, you become someone the system must respond to. From here, there is no instruction to follow, no checklist, no reassurance, only a choice. Either you retreat to the safety of waiting, or you continue forward without validation. The path does not announce itself. It simply opens for those who have already decided they belong. Belonging is not granted, it is assumed. And assumption, once stabilized, hardens into reality. This is the final fracture between those who rise and those who remain stationary. The poor keep asking where they fit. The wealthy decide where they stand. One waits for inclusion, the other creates exclusion. And exclusion is power, because it forces the world to orient around you. Most men misunderstand this and recoil. They think power is loud, aggressive, visible. In truth, real power is quiet and already positioned. It does not ask, it does not explain, it does not justify. It simply behaves as if the outcome is inevitable, and inevitability is persuasive. People fall in line not because they are convinced, but because resistance feels pointless. This is why living like a millionaire before you are rich feels unsettling. You are stepping into inevitability without proof. You are removing the psychological safety net of excuses. You are saying, without saying it, that your future is non-negotiable. The mind resists this because it eliminates retreat. Retreat has always been the poor man's comfort. The wealthy burn the bridge behind them early. Once retreat is gone, focus sharpens. Decisions simplify. You stop oscillating between options because your standards filter them automatically. You no longer ask what feels good, you ask what compounds. This makes life appear harsher from the outside, but internally it becomes calmer. There is no more internal debate, no bargaining, no waiting, only execution. Execution is where identity solidifies. Repeated behavior under pressure becomes character. Character shapes reputation. Reputation precedes opportunity. This is the ladder most never climb because they wait for opportunity to start the climb. The predator climbs first. Opportunity follows the sound of movement. At this stage, money begins to respond differently. Not dramatically, not all at once, subtly. You notice access where there was none, respect where there was dismissal, interest where there was indifference. These are signals. They are not rewards. They are confirmations that the posture is working. The weak misinterpret these early signals and soften. The strong treat them as validation to intensify. This is where many self-sabotage. They see progress and relax. They downgrade their standards to celebrate. They mistake early alignment for arrival. The predator does not celebrate prematurely. He knows alignment must be defended. Standards, once lowered, are difficult to raise again, so he maintains pressure. On himself first, on his environment second. Pressure is the true luxury, the ability to demand more of yourself, of your time, of your surroundings. The poor avoid pressure because it exposes inadequacy. The wealthy seek it because it forges competence. When you live like a millionaire before wealth arrives, you deliberately place yourself under pressure to accelerate your evolution. This is why it works. The herd cannot understand this because they seek relief, not refinement. They optimize for comfort. The predator optimizes for leverage. Comfort numbs, leverage multiplies. Money is a byproduct of leverage, not effort. And leverage is built through positioning, not patience. Eventually, something irreversible happens. You stop identifying with those who wait. Their conversations feel repetitive, their fears predictable, their ambitions conditional. You recognize your former self in them, and the distance feels unsettling, not because you are better, but because you are no longer the same. This is the quiet cost of elevation. You cannot unsee what you now understand. From this vantage point, the world looks different. You see how systems reward assumption, how gatekeepers respond to confidence, how doors open to those who knock as if they expect them to. You realize that money was never the gate. Mindset was, identity was, posture was. And those who never adjust these remain outside forever, wondering why. The final truth is the most uncomfortable. Wealth does not come to those who are ready. It comes to those who act ready. Readiness is subjective. Action is observable. The world responds to what it can see. When you live like someone who expects more, you are treated like someone who must be taken seriously. This is not manipulation. It is alignment with human nature. Machiavelli warned that men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Appearance precedes substance. Those who wait to perfect substance before projecting appearance are outpaced by those who project first and refine along the way. This is not unfair. It is structural, and structures do not care about intentions. Living like a millionaire before you are rich is not about arrogance. It is about refusing to rehearse a life you do not want. Every day, you live beneath your intended standards. You reinforce an identity that must later be dismantled. Dismantling is painful. Building correctly from the beginning is simpler. The wealthy choose the simpler path, even when it looks harder. At this point, the decision is no longer theoretical. You either accept that your current life is training you for your future, or you accept that it is conditioning you to remain where you are. There is no neutral ground. Every choice votes for one identity or the other. Most men vote against themselves daily and call it prudence. The predator votes differently. He understands that money is attracted to momentum, not morality, to decisiveness, not discipline alone, to those who behave as if delay is unacceptable. Once you internalize this, you stop asking how long it will take. You start asking how firmly you are positioned. From here, nothing more needs to be said. Those who understand have already shifted. Those who do not will explain why they must wait. The world will respond accordingly.